Hello everyone. Ooh, Gloria, I like your little pink light behind you.
Oh, thank you. It's our blend light.
Oh, I love. Hey guys. We might have a small group today because I did this last minute, and that's fine. We're gonna have a party anyway. Katie, I love your little diving picture. All right, hi everyone. Hi Isabel. Hi Victoria.
Thank
Turn your camera on so I can see your face. Thank you.
I don't want to.
She was like, do I have to? It's Sunday. I understand.
My hair is weird today. But
Well, to out myself, mine is very dirty and greasy, so that's why it's up in a bun.
it's cute though.
Thank you. Honestly, buns are great because the dirtier the better, you know what I mean? It just kind of like, you put it somewhere and it doesn't move, which is gross, but that's the hack.
Stay put like a little.
No, 100%. It's like, whatever. It's fine, we're fine. Okay, hi guys, let's get into it today. We're getting into the neuroscience behind how your unhealed trauma is losing you money. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to lose any fucking money. So here we are. I'm on one today. I'm really not tired, but like, when you just have broken, well, I don't know if you have kids, if you have broken sleep every night, like I don't get up a lot, like I'm up once, but it's just like consecutively. Anyway, so I made Chris get me a coffee. So if I start a large one, if I start, speaking really fast, just tell me to slow down. The caffeine is hitting. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, guys. Okay, so before we even talk about the money piece, I want to give you, like the foundation behind what I'm talking about. I'm going to basically paint like a big, yes, we always go into the energetics and the spirituality piece of it, but I want to give you the neuroscience behind it because I feel like for me personally, like, yes, I understand spirituality, I understand all of that, but when you can put the neuroscience behind it, my brain just like clicks behind it better. So anyways, that's what I want to do for you guys today. So again, this is just the foundation behind it. But you guys know this, but to reiterate, the world is one giant mirror of how you treat you. So people treat you based off what's radiating in your creator field. So if you're constantly hard on yourself, you're going to experience people being hard on you. If you don't see your value, other people aren't going to see your value. If you constantly put yourself last, class, what's going to happen? This is interactive today, so it happens when we have small groups. Thank you. See, you picked a good one. I'm picking on people today. If you don't respect your own time, you'll have people showing up late, expecting you to drop everything for them, texting you at all hours, pushing boundaries. If you constantly criticize the way you look, right? Someone makes a comment about your body and you're like, why the fuck would they say that to me, right? If deep down you don't believe you're good enough, you'll keep finding yourself in situations where you feel overlooked, passed over, or like you constantly have to prove yourself. And most of the time people will spend their entire lives trying to change the mirror, right? Like they're looking in the mirror and trying to change it. Like, my boss doesn't value me, my clients don't want to pay me, my husband's always criticizing me, my friends don't consider me, nobody respects my time, blah, 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 whatever. But what I want you to start asking yourself is, where am I doing this to me? And a lot of you guys here have learned reflection, so you're understanding the deeper meaning behind this, but like to break it down very simply so we can get into the neuroscience piece. But I want you guys to start asking, like, where am I doing this to myself? Because the physical world at the end of the day is just our mirror. So if I'm standing in front of the mirror and I don't like what I see in the reflection, right? I don't walk over to the mirror and start trying to change the reflection. I start trying to change me so that I like what I'm looking at, right? And this is where your unhealed trauma comes in, because you can consciously sit here and tell me, Keisha, of course I know I'm valuable, cool, but what's really running like underneath that, right? Like, because you can logically think all the live long day how valuable you are, but if the subconscious is not on board, you're doing absolutely nothing. Because the subconscious, if you don't know, now you know, it runs 95% of our brain, which means we only operate at 5% conscious level. Like, I want you guys to think about that for a second. Like, I feel like I personally like know a lot, or I'm like, no, I know I'm operating at a way higher level, but like to know 95% is subconscious, like it's just wild to me. Like, can you imagine the things that we're thinking about and don't even realize? Anyways. So if you've experienced rejection, abandonment, constant criticism, being bullied, being cheated on, being compared to other people, never feeling good enough, only receiving praise when you achieved something, your subconscious has created an entirely different story. And it could be something like, I'm not valuable, I'm not good enough, I have to prove myself, I have to earn love, I'm too much, I'm not enough, people always leave me. Again, the story goes on. And you don't necessarily have to wake up consciously every morning thinking, good morning, I'm not valuable, right? It's not that, because it's all running subconscious. So it's, even though you're not even consciously thinking about this, it's running the show. And it can be running underneath the surface, and it can still be radiating in that creator field. And then the physical reality starts mirroring it back to you. And this is where I want to bring money into the conversation, because if underneath everything you don't see your own value, what happens is when it's time for someone else to place a monetary value on you, like pay you or whatever, you end up getting passed up for the promotion, your coworker gets a raise and not you, people constantly ask for discounts, potential clients tell you you're too expensive, maybe you're doing more than everyone else around you and somehow making less money. You keep attracting people who want everything from you and don't want to pay you, right? And these are just some examples. Like I'll go more into debt at the end. I have examples for all 8 areas of life, don't you worry. But anyway, and you're sitting there thinking, right, like, why does this keep happening to me? And that's what we're talking about today, because the money problem doesn't actually start with the money. It typically starts with a self-value wound. It's always self-image related. Now it's typically self-value that has been running underneath the surface for years. Now, let's talk about the neuroscience that backs this up. So I wanted to basically take this and break it down and make it really simple, because you don't need a neuroscience degree to understand your brain, right? But I wanted to break it down so simply that you're like, oh yeah, makes sense, right? So your brain is always constantly learning, and one of the ways it learns is through repetition. So think about driving a car, right? Like when you first learned how to drive, you had to consciously focus on everything, like Keisha, check the mirror, foot on the brake, 10 and 2, turn single, look behind you, you know what I mean? Like you're so constantly hyper fixated on it and like, oh, I have to do these things. But now when you get in the car and you drive somewhere you've driven 500 times, like you barely remember the drive. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes it's like, why would you even use your turn signal? So no, literally. You guys, when I lived in DC, no one used a turn signal there, and I was so upset. I'm like, what is happening? But like sometimes, I don't know if you guys feel this, but I'll literally be an autopilot. I'm thinking about God knows what, and I end up at home and I'm like, how did I get here, right? And it's because the brain has learned through repetition. It knows where we're going. It knows what to do. We don't have to consciously think about it. And your brain has gotten really efficient, right, at taking what it knows and just going with it. So think about it doing that in the subconscious, right? But anyway, through repetition, neural pathways become stronger, behaviors or thought patterns can become increasingly automatic, and beliefs can work in a similar way. So all a belief is a thought that you've thought over and over and over, and your brain has reinforced over and over and over the truth behind it. And it started to, hold on, what am I trying to say? My brain has too many thoughts at one time. A belief is a thought you're thinking over and over and over that your brain has assigned a meaning to, and it's reinforced that it's the ultimate truth because you've had this thought over and over. So let's say when you were little, you were constantly criticized. Maybe you brought home a 95, and instead of hearing, oh my God, amazing job, sweetie, you heard, well, why isn't it 100? Right? So one time that you've heard this isn't necessarily creating your entire self-image, but imagine experiencing versions of this over and over again, and your brain starts creating meaning around those experiences. So it basically starts telling you, like, what I do is never enough, and eventually I'm not enough. And then now you're 35, 40, 18, 20, whatever, how old you are, and nobody has to stand over you saying you're not enough anymore. You do it for them. Your brain's running on that autopilot, and it's doing it for you. And it could look things like, you finish a huge project and immediately notice you could have done better. Maybe you make 20K and instead of celebrating, you're pissed it wasn't 30. You look in the mirror and immediately think you have to fix something, or you want to fix something. And someone compliments you and you brush it off. Maybe you get uncomfortable and you're like one of those, I used to do this all the time. Like someone will be like, oh, I like your dress. And it's like, oh, thanks, I have pockets. You know what I mean? Instead of just being like, oh, thank you. It's like you have to deflect it in some way. But your brain has practiced that pathway for so long that being hard on yourself, it just feels normal. And 9 times out of 10, it's just running on autopilot. So we don't even realize how hard we're being on ourselves because it's how we think, right? But that belief is now influencing the way that you think, feel, and see yourself. And this is also where your brain's prediction systems can come into play. Your brain uses previous experiences to help predict what is likely to happen next. And it's incredibly useful, but if your previous experience created the belief of something like, I'm not valuable, then your brain can start approaching new situations through an existing lens. And then there's a tension, right? Like there's way too much information around us at any given moment, really. And it's too much for your conscious brain to really focus on all of it. So what happens is your brain starts to filter it. Think of it like a filter system. But what you already believe, expect, fear can influence what gets your attention. And that's how the brain flags it and what's running subconscious, all the things like that. But if your belief is like, nobody values me, and 10 people tell you how fucking incredible you are, but one person doesn't respond, or they make a negative remark, whatever, guess which one your brain's gonna obsess over? Class? Thank you. Making sure y'all are paying attention today. Correct. The one person who did not validate you or give you a compliment, right? And your brain's going, see, nobody values me. Your existing belief gets more evidence, the pathway gets reinforced, and the cycle just continues and continues and continues. This is why, like I always say, affirmations don't work, or even simply telling yourself, like, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, I'm valuable, because your brain's going, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. And you're at constant, like, war with your brain, if you will. And then when there's a massive unhealed wound underneath it, right, the pattern, the thought doesn't change the pattern, because we have to go underneath it and learn how to rewire that neural pathway fully to start creating a different reality. But again, here's the really cool part, is the brain can change, and that's neuroplasticity. The brain's capable of changing its patterns, strengthening new pathways through experience and repetition, which means just because you learned at some point of your life or that I'm not enough, it doesn't mean you have to spend the rest of your life operating from that neural pathway. You get to heal the wound, you get to rewire the brain, and then you get to create an entirely different reality around that. Does this make sense so far? Okay, slay. Because I felt my coffee kicking in. I'm like, am I talking too fast? Has another sip of coffee. Cool, so the belief, unfortunately, doesn't stay in our head, right? From what we know from creator field work, it's plugging into your creator field and it's radiating off you. So this is where we start connecting everything, right? So because a belief isn't just some cute sentence floating around in our head, right? It's impacting how we think, how we feel, how we see ourselves, what feels normal to us, what to expect. And then again, it's what's radiating in our creator field. So let's use again, I'm not valuable. If that wound is sitting underneath the surface, you don't get to decide it only affects you on Tuesdays, right? Like, it's going to be with you every single day, right? You're carrying it with you, and then your physical world starts mirroring that wound back to you. So now maybe you have a client who doesn't value your time, a boss who doesn't value your work, a friend who doesn't value your friendship, and maybe even a husband or a boyfriend who doesn't value anything and everything that you do. And you're looking around thinking, why the fuck does nobody value me, right? And when you feel this start to creep in and happen, I want you to ask yourself, do you value you, right? Because we keep trying to heal the mirror instead of the person standing in front of it. And this is why your trauma can quite literally be losing you money. We're gonna dive more into that, don't worry. So here's how this starts to show up with your finances. Let's say, again, going on the belief of I'm not valuable, and you own a business. Maybe you have an offer that should be like 2K, but you're constantly attracting people who want a discount. People tell you they can't afford you. People want to pick your brain for free. People consume everything you put out and never buy. And you're thinking, and if you haven't caught on, I'm outing myself in all these, because this is basically me 2 years ago. Love to out myself, right? It's the best way to teach. Anyway, but you're thinking, right? Like, why doesn't anyone see value in this? But underneath it, you're not seeing your value. You're not seeing what you're giving the world, and the world is mirroring it to you. Or maybe you even work in corporate and you've been with the company for, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years. You're doing the work of 3 fucking people. You know you deserve more money, but every year somebody else gets promoted, somebody else gets the opportunity, someone else gets the recognition, and you're sitting there thinking, like, what do I have to do for these people to see my value? Again, do you see your value? Are you emotionally connected to it, right? Because you can logically think all the live long day, like, I'm valuable. And just as I mentioned earlier, like, you're only 5% connect, or 5% aware of that. 95% is running subconsciously. So if you're not emotionally connected to that, that's where the disconnect is. Or maybe your wound is, I'm not good enough. So now every time you're presented with an opportunity to make more money, the belief running underneath it could be, or there's that belief running underneath it, it could be your creator field's repelling the opportunity. And maybe they end up, maybe it's between 2 people and they end up going with someone else. You start to play smaller. You constantly compare yourself to somebody further ahead. You wait until you make more money, you keep perfecting, you keep learning, you keep preparing, and 5 years later, you're still preparing for the fucking thing you could have started 5 years ago, right? Or maybe the wound is, I have to prove myself to be valuable. Now money might actually come in, but look at what you have to do to receive it. Maybe instead of it coming easily, you have to overwork, you have to over-deliver, you say yes to everything, you never rest, you constantly feel like you need to do more, you can't enjoy what you've created because the second you hit one goal, you need to prove yourself and you need to hit another goal, right? You still have to prove that you're worthy because you still don't feel worthy within. Different wound, right? Different belief, but still affecting the money somehow, right? And this is why I say your unhealed trauma is losing your money, because you're trying to fix the money problem. Like, let me budget, let me do this. And sure, that's a physical piece of it that you could add in, but the money could also just be showing you the reflection underneath it, right? So this isn't necessarily just about money. There are 8 areas of life, but this is where it gets really interesting because the wound doesn't always show up on your bank account. It definitely could, especially if you're me, that's where all my reflections show up. Or sometimes it could show up as like, creating unexpected bills or even debt. What's the word I'm looking for? Like building up of debt because you're taking you everywhere, but that you're taking your creator field everywhere. So the same wound could be mirrored back to you across completely different areas of life. And it could look like in the financial area of life, it could be like coworkers get the promotion that you deserve. You get a bonus and you manifest a bill that takes it all. I have done this so many times. You guys, this is when I worked in corporate and I got like an unexpected, I think it was like $1,200 bonus. And I was so excited. I don't remember what I was gonna buy. I shit you not. The next day I'm home with Tatum and she shoves a bead up her nose and I couldn't get it out. So we had to go to the ER, and I want you to take a wild guess at how much that motherfucking bill was. And I said, okay, well, here's the cash for it because take my bonus. And if you ask her to this day, I'm like, how did that bead get in your nose? And she will tell you, it fell from the ceiling fan and landed in my nose. And I said, okay, you're right. That's her story and we're sticking to it. Anyways, I digress, but still in the financial area, right? You don't get the salary increase even though you've been there for years. Clients don't book with you. You can't close a sale to save your life, and debt starts to accumulate. That's the word I was looking for, accumulate. Then we have vocation. I've also put /career. So if you don't know, vocation is like your soul path, soul pull, what your soul came here to do. Not to be confused with career. Career is like what you're doing to support yourself right now. For this example, I've looped them together because they can kind of go hand in hand for this. But so for career vocation, it could look like people choosing to work with other people over you. You're burnt out because you take on all the extra work and you don't get paid for it. You're burnt out, but you can't take a break because your human ego needs the validation of you're doing good. You're doing great, sweetie, in Kris Jenner terms. You make a minor mistake and you get yelled at for it. You get put on maybe a performance plan, even though you're literally trying your hardest. You end up in a lawsuit, again, speaking from experience. Could even lead to you getting fired, right? Then we have the physical area of life, and it could look like maybe you have 10 plus pounds that you just can't lose to save your life. Highly inflamed, headaches, rashes, exhaustion, sluggish, and brain fog. Then we have the mental area of life. And this could be you're spiraling, wondering what others are thinking of you, anxiety because you're unsure of yourself and your work, overthinking every interaction you have with someone, did I say the right thing? Did I do this? Was this weird, right? Depression because you never feel good enough, and always trying the latest and greatest trend. Not that diets are bad, but there's always a new diet to try and maybe you're constantly doing that. Or again, not that meditation's bad, but there's different trending ones to do. So maybe you're constantly hopping on just different trends. Then we have the social area of life. And this could look like, you never get invited places. And if you do, it's last minute and your schedule's not considered. Friends trauma dumping on you and they never actually want to hear what's going on in your life. Not getting asked to be a bridesmaid even though you've been friends for years. No one respecting your boundaries, and you pay for everything and no one ever pays you back. Then we have our family area of life. This could look like your husband critiquing you over everything, being nitpicky, right? Your kids throwing fits constantly. nothing's ever good enough, right? So they're always critiquing like, oh, I didn't want this for dinner. They're mad you made mac and cheese and they wanted, I don't know, salmon. Maybe it's opposite, because Tatum would never in her life ask for salmon. Your parents are always like on you for not applying yourself more. Why don't you make more money? Why didn't you do this? You should have got a degree in this. No one shows up to help you when you need it. Then we have the spiritual area of life. And this could look like, you know, you do all the work and feel like it's not working. You never feel confident enough to talk about what you hold on. Too many thoughts again. You feel confident enough to talk about or teach it because you don't know enough, right? You do tools every day and then fall off. You never actually fully implement the tools that you're given because you don't feel like you know enough, right? It's like, when I know more, I'll do it, right? And then again, to the 5-year example, you're doing it for 5 years and it's like, you should have just started 5 years ago, right? And last but not least, we have passion hobby. And you start to tell yourself you never have time for this. You start to resent your partner because of it. You start to resent being a mom. You don't even know what you like to do for fun anymore. And when you do go, you don't have fun because you're critiquing yourself or the instructor. If you're doing something that involves an instructor, maybe they're critiquing you. So again, like, these are just some examples. It could look like other things as well, but these are just to like kind of get your head thinking of like, oh, okay, I could see how this is showing up here or how it's showing up here. But again, it's like your life is just giving you more information, if you will. But this is the part I wanted you guys to walk away with today. Stop looking at everything happening in life as just a bunch of random disconnected problems and start getting curious. Like, if I keep experiencing this, what could it be showing me? What is my brain telling me that I need to rewire, right? If I keep feeling undervalued, where am I undervaluing myself? If everyone's constantly hard on me, where am I hard on myself? If everyone expects me to put myself last, how am I putting myself last? If nobody respects my boundaries, do I respect my own boundaries? If I keep feeling like I have to prove myself, where did I learn that simply being me wasn't enough, right? The physical reality becomes information. And instead of, why is this happening to me? We can start thinking like, what is this showing me and what's happening inside of me? And what this honestly does is it puts the power back in your hands, because if the problem is always everybody else, you have to wait for everybody else to change before you can feel different. And I don't know about you guys, but fuck that, right? Like, I don't ever want to put, I don't want my worth to be determined on someone else, because you can't control anyone else, but you can control you. So if you take that power back, right, you don't have to wait for someone to change for you to feel different. You can choose to feel different. But, right, if you can identify the wound underneath the pattern, you have something to actually work with and start rewiring. And again, because of the neuroplasticity, your brain is not permanently stuck operating from those pathways. It's built through those old experiences, and we can create something different, which is really cool. And I actually just learned which I think I'm going to teach it in Milfew Level 2. But you can basically go in old memories, because I learned that in your creator field, old like negative memories, they can still dictate how your creator field operates. Like, have you ever been, I don't know if you guys are like this, you probably are, but like, I'll be getting ready in the mornings and I'm happy, and out of nowhere, something that happened 6 years ago pops in, and now I'm having the same argument that I had with someone 6 years ago, and I'm mad, and now my day's ruined, and I'm thinking about it all day, and I'm like, what is going on? Anyways, all that to say, when you do that, it's still programming in your creator field, whatever that experience was. So however you're feeling is getting reprogrammed again, and it's getting louder, right? Because it's through repetition. But you can go back in and you can literally rewire that memory, but you can change it completely. So that way when it shows up, you're not angry anymore. Girl, yes, old mem out of nowhere. Yes, you see, it's like those damn memories, man. What was I saying? Oh, but like, yeah, then you can change it. So that way when you think about it or it comes up, you don't have this negative connotation anymore. It's like you've rewritten how it shows up, and then it's not programming in your field. Like, say you had something where someone was super critical of you and it still hurt your feelings, right? So maybe you go in and rewire it to feel like empowered, like, oh, I see how this lesson got me to where I am now. Anyway, so it changes the way when it pops up again that it's radiating in your field. So I've been working on that, so stay tuned, guys. It's a fun one. But do we have questions so far? Hey, Victoria. Victoria, you get married soon, right? Like this month, right?
Yeah, in 3 weeks.
Shut up, yay! Look, she's a healed queen. For those who don't know Victoria, she had an accident, what, like 4 weeks ago?
On one wheel.
On a one wheel, because she's a badass. But she fell and her whole face was like super bruised, and she's been doing a ton of emotional work behind it, and like you can't even tell. She looks incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
That's like, oh, I see. Okay, but it's not as bad as it was, right? Like it looks so much better. Yeah, you got. Listen, in 3 weeks, you got this, sister. Yeah, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. So, back on track. This is why I have to have bullet points to keep me on track, because I start talking, I get in the chat, now we're talking about weddings, which I love to hear about, but I forget. And then I'm like, oh, where was I? And that's how my brain operates, everyone. But this is literally just like the foundation of the neuroscience behind it, because I wanted you guys to just start thinking differently and start like, yes, I love the energetics, but again, combining the energetics with the neuroscience, I find it easier for the brain to get behind it, because you're like, oh, okay, yes, I understand the spirituality, the energetics, the reflection, but like here's how my brain's picking it up. So combining the two together, it's like I find it's easier to understand, it's easier to work with. Like I always tell you guys, name your brain, because when you can identify it and it's not you, like my brain's name is Brenda, so when she pisses me off, I'm like, Brenda, shut the fuck up, right? So it's kind of the same thing, like, oh, it's not me, it's my brain, right? And you can operate it differently, because now you're not criticizing yourself, you're criticizing Brenda. And which sounds silly, because you're like, Keisha, yeah, it's technically your brain. Like, yes, it is, but the way the brain sees it is you're not being hard on yourself, you're being hard on Brenda, okay? I don't make the rules, tell your brain. I've been doing that more in the last week, and it's been a game changer. See, I'm telling you. I love that, Isabel. Isabel, what'd you name your brain? We must know. I love to see the names that you guys pick. Sarah, okay, yep. Because it's like they're always, I don't know, they're just fitting. Okay, Slay. So again, this was just the foundation, and I could yap on this for hours, and you guys would be like, Keisha, I've quite literally got to go. It's Sunday, okay? But I basically, again, I wanted to show you how your inner wounds are showing up in your money, your body, your relationships, your motherhood, your self-image, your reactions, your confidence, literally every other area of your life. Because once you can start seeing that mirror, you can't unsee it, right? It's so in your face, and you can catch it. Because now it's like, again, if it was 95% subconscious, you're not seeing it, but now that I've brought attention to it, you're going to start to see it a little differently and start to catch things, which is the goal, right? Like we want to catch and be able to rewire. So you start being like, oh shit, I'm expecting everyone to value me and I don't even value myself, or oh shit, I'm pissed nobody gives me a break. Like, do I even give myself a break? And I've told you this one, again, is from experience. Like I was so mad the other day. I'm like, I do everything around here. And I'm like, because quite literally 3 people have tried to help you and you're like, no, move, I'll do it. It's like, hello. Or it could be like, I'm upset everyone is hard on me and I'm the meanest person to myself with the voice in my head, But that awareness changes everything. But that awareness alone, right, isn't going to necessarily change it. We have to fully go in and rewire it. Because I don't want you just walking around going, cool, I have an abandonment wound. Cool, I don't feel valuable. Cool, this is from childhood. Like, okay, yes, I'm glad that you realize that, but we have to rewire it, right, in order to start to make those changes. And that's exactly what we're doing in MILFU. And I know there's some few MILFU ladies in here. But in MILFU, we dive into all of this, the inner wounds, the generational trauma, self-image, the way you see yourself, the beliefs running the patterns underneath your reactions, the neuroscience behind why your brain keeps repeating them, and how we actually begin changing what's happening internally so you can create a completely different experience externally. Because I don't want you guys spending the rest of your life like fighting the mirror. Like I say fighting the mirror because I don't know about you guys, but there was one point in my life I was so hard on myself, and I'd look in the mirror and I'd be like, first of all, I've always been like thin, but I'd be grabbing like, my stomach and being like, oh my God, I need to lose this extra belly weight, or my arm, whatever I was on at the time, like focused on. And I don't want you guys to be standing there picking yourself apart when you quite literally could just heal the inner wounds and then heal the reflection you're experiencing. So, like tying it into money again. Yes, like the scene in my chicks. Gina the talking Tommy. No, literally. But like, trying to make more money while still not believing you're valuable, right? You're going to hit blocks there. Trying to create a better relationship while feeling horrible about you. You're just going to create a partner who's nasty to you, I guess they could physically beat you up, but I'm talking more mentally, right? You're trying to stop snapping at your kids without ever looking underneath the reaction, so you keep snapping on them because you don't know how to stop, right? And trying to feel confident while your internal dialogue tears you apart every single day. And this one shows up a lot. I don't know if you guys like trash TV like I do, but I love like Actually, I don't like Love Island, but I like Perfect Match and Temptation Island and Let's Marry Harry's on right now. And so I always find it interesting to like, I think I watch it because I like to see, like, the girls are always stunning, but their self-image is always so low, and they're always like, no, I'm so confident, but you can like literally feel in their energy, like, you know, what they're insecure about. And I think it's very interesting because, you know, we will, as women, I feel like we're always like, yeah, I'm confident, but it's like we're not emotionally connected to it, and so it's radiating something different. But anyway, all that to say, I always like find that on trash TV, and I find it so interesting. And then I always bring it into my teaching because I'm like, oh, I see what this girl's dealing with. I've dealt with that. Like, let's, you know, create something around that to heal it. Anyways, but I digress. But getting to the root, right, that's where you can change it, because when you start changing the relationship you have with you change what's radiating in your own creator field. And when the person standing in front of the mirror changes, the reflection changes too, yes? So again, if you had one moment during this workshop where you thought, holy shit, I do that, right? Good, because now you can't unsee it, now you're seeing it, and now you can choose to rewire it, right? And MILF is where I'm gonna teach you what to do with it, how to do it. You have MILF pre-recorded 8 weeks, and then you get 4 live calls with me as well. And our first call is 8/26. So let's get into our Q&A, guys. What questions do we have today? Or what riffs do you want me to go on? Because you know I can always go on a riff on something.
I do not know. I feel like a lot of this resonates, but I feel like my issue is really, really subconscious, that I don't actually know what.
What's your like main problem, if you will? And I'll look at it from that way.
So, I feel like everybody reflects my value back to me except for my husband, and then it just turns into this like whole thing. But then like when you're saying like, oh, your husband's gonna nitpick, well, I don't get nitpicked, I am the nitpicker.
Okay.
And so I feel like I'm also like reading into his creator field. He doesn't feel valuable, and he's incredibly hard on himself, and so I can't figure out what my issue is.
So he's not, let me make sure I understand correctly. You're nitpicking him, which is his own reflection, but you're saying he's also hard on you, or no? You're just noticing you're nitpicking him.
It's like completely opposite. I'm hard on him. But I don't feel like I'm being that hard on myself, but like I said, it's like this area of life is the most reflective for me.
That's your highest value, which is why.
I know, and I like, what are we supposed to do here? Because it's like annoying, right? We're just like the same fight.
Sure.
I'm trying to help myself here, but
okay, so when
I feel bad, you know.
Sure. I'm trying. Okay, like what's your trigger behind it? Like, yes, I know his is like being nitpicked. What triggers you in the whole situation? Like, what starts the fight? Like, what is your internal like go-to when this happens? Because I know like you're nitpicking, and like sure, maybe you feel bad, but like what really triggers you?
I think it's like just not feeling valuable.
Okay, so you're nitpicking him, and I see what you're saying. Okay, so he's not showing you, he's not making you feel valued. Yes, and then so you're nitpicking him for not like buying, I'm making this up, but like not buying flowers or something, and then that's when the fight starts?
Yeah, or just like not reading the cues, right? Or like not emotionally like connecting with me. So I feel like I'm making some connections now that I'm just saying to you, but
okay. Yeah, that's why we say it out loud, right?
It's like, it's so, I don't know how to, without making this a whole like therapy session for me.
No, you're good. I needed the context to like look in it appropriately, because I was seeing value, but I needed to, you know what I mean? I need to know how it's like showing up for you, so that way I can like explain it appropriately. 1 second. Okay, yes, it's value, like yes, it's your value, but it's like you, the missing piece that you're doing value ingredients. Here's the missing like piece that you're missing. The missing piece that you're missing, Keisha. Hello.
You're doing great.
You're doing great, sweetie.
I love it.
Don't drink too much coffee and talk. It could be problematic. Yours is you want the validation. So like if he's not validating, and the validation doesn't always have to be words. It could be like, oh my God, you're so hot, you're so sexy, you're doing great, sweetie. Or it could be like him booking a flight, booking a trip, giving you flowers, like just doing something minor, like picking you up food on the way home without asking. Like you're waiting for that validation to, like, you're doing all the work and you're like almost waiting for him to validate it, because you're like, oh, I know I've been doing this, so like tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and he's gonna validate me type situation, versus being like, Katie, holy fuck, like look how far I've come in the last 3 years, 2 years, however long it's been at this point. Look how far I've come, look how much better I feel. Like compare your, when you were down in the trenches like a year ago, like comparing how far you've come in that, and like where you are mentally, like physically, emotionally, and just validating yourself. And then you become a match for him to start doing that to you. But right now it's like the why it's reflecting in that way is because you're waiting for that validation behind it.
No, that makes sense. It's just like annoying.
Oh, for sure.
I have the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, when are you going to figure this out? I'm like, men are just idiots.
No, I agree. It's like, did we have a conversation or no?
Right.
Did we say this yesterday, or was I only there?
I literally, I'm like, how's the Groundhog Day for these people? I know their hormones reset every 24 hours, but like, come on.
Does the brain reset too? Who could be too sure?
Apparently, that's what happened to me. So, okay, no, that's helpful. But I also wanted to ask about, like, we had this like random bill come up, but he knew about it but didn't share it with me. This was like months ago. There's a huge long backstory here, but finally, like, it came out that like we owed all like thousands of dollars back, and like out of nowhere, on top of this like huge trip that we're taking soon, and I'm trying to figure
Of
out,
course.
like, was that since he knew about it back in April, whose reflection is it, and how do I get that money back? Because it was unexpected, you know.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell? Well, both people's reflection for different reasons. Hold on, let me see. His is something totally different. Your reflection behind it is, this isn't true. This is just how you emotionally feel, but it's like you, like, I've spent all this money on courses, sessions, whatever, and like, I'm not doing the work. I'm not where I need to be, which again is not true. You're doing it. It's just what you're telling yourself. And then it feels like there was something that you wanted to, like a course to take or a set, I don't know, there's something you wanted to do, whether it was course related or not, maybe it was a vacation, I don't know, but like you told yourself, well, like, I already have this information and I'm not doing the work, so like I'm not going to spend any more money type situation. So the money that you were going to spend towards that investment on yourself ended up being manifested as a bill. Now his and it was something totally different. His was around like lack, just thinking like a feeling of never having enough type situation.
Okay, that tracks. I
The
was getting
struggle.
there eventually. This has just been like a weird one to untangle. So.
Yeah, that one was interesting. I had to kind of go a few different angles with that, but yeah.
Okay.
Slay. Hey, Miss Maria Bay.
Can you
Hi.
hear me okay?
Yeah.
I love your looking for Nita.
Thank you.
So, I just
Amazon.
got back from this big trip with my boyfriend, and the last few days were just like a dumpster fire. I just felt like, because I don't know if it's like nitpicking for this thing or being hard on the other little things, or I felt one too many. I put like his sunglasses up for him, and they got stuck, and he was like so pissed off. And then like I accidentally got a little dent in his part, and it was like the tip of a pen, like the tiniest little, and it was an accident. And he was like, well, I feel like we did that on purpose, like all of that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it was like the last little bit of it, it was just like the little tiniest things were just like, why are you being so hard on me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see.
What area, what you did. But it wasn't present at the beginning, and it hasn't happened really much before. So I'm like, what should
Yeah, let me see. Please hold. Yours is more right now, a little bit is motherhood, but you've shifted a lot of that, so it's not the loudest, so good job, sister. Yours, how do I say this, human words? Yours is more around like being hard on yourself for like where you're at in life. Like you feel like you should be further along than you are, and it's showing up like You're still in nursing school, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's like you are busy there, you have the kids, you're still being a surrogate, yes?
Yes.
How far along are you right now?
16 weeks.
Oh, yay. Congrats. Okay, so you have that. You just have a lot going on, and it's like, why you're feeling blocked. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm doing everything and I'm not where I want to be. So it's, again, you're not consciously thinking of this. It's something that's running subconsciously, but you're just
Yeah.
always wanting to be over here, and you're not seeing the progress that you're actually making.
I see.
You got this.
Of course.
You got this. Always.
Sweet. So that's the main area, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, yeah.
Okay. Am I being hard on myself around that, like subconsciously?
Yeah, it's like a lot of like, feel like, I don't like the word not good enough, but it's like, it's along that vein of like, oh, because I'm not where I want to be, I'm not good enough almost.
Okay. Is that connected to value as well?
Yeah, I would like, yes, value, but connect to like how everything you're going through is like actually helping you get where you want to be. Like, find a long-term, like, what's your long-term goal in life? Like, in next year, what's your goal?
I want to live in California, just be able to make a certain amount of money to support us and work towards buying a house.
Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. So have like a big goal like that and see how everything you're going through right now is helping you get there, right? So like, nursing school is going to help you make that number that you want to make. The surrogacy is going to help you make the money you want to make. You're in a relationship, maybe that goes further, and that's, you know, more money to put towards your house and move to California. So that's helping you get there. Just like connecting to how everything's helping you get there.
Okay. I'm just wondering, like, why did it come up, like, so close to the end of the trip? And, like, because he's not usually that way. Like, did my energy just get louder? And feeling?
Yeah, like within that last 24 hours, your brain, like, something happened that I'm sure you consciously aren't aware of, but like just shifted it and you started thinking about it. Like, it felt like a panic almost of like, oh, fuck, I'm not where I want to be, da 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 da.
Interesting. I think it was just all that downtime. I mean, like, what am I doing with myself?
Probably.
I don't
Being
know.
alone with your thoughts is scary sometimes.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, Slay. Do we have any other questions, ladies? Miss Victoria?
I was thinking about so trauma and motherhood. When like a child gets born, is it like 50%? Do they take on 50% of like the mother's trauma and like 50% of like the father's trauma?
Good. Well, it kind of depends. Because a lot of it you have to remember is soul contract. Like, they're taking on, like, it is generational trauma for sure, but if you think about it from a soul contract level, like, that soul's choosing exactly what it wants to take on. So it could be like a 50-50. It could be, you know, a 70-30. I'm not good at math. You know what I mean? But it could be a little bit more depending. But then it's also going to determine on, so you're born like with this energy, but then what am I trying to say? Like, their mirror neurons are going to pick up the caregivers, right? So whoever it, like, I always talk about, you know, my grandma nitpicking herself in the mirror, and I took that on as 5 years old, and I started doing that really young, right? So it kind of dictates which trauma is going to be louder in the beginning based on the mirror neurons of the people that are caregivers. So for me, I was always with my mom's family. So it was like, that was the loudest. Doesn't mean I didn't have anything from my dad's family. I had to work on that too. I feel like it just didn't show up until later in life, or I didn't notice it until later in life because this was just so loud. Does that make sense?
It makes sense.
Yeah, a lot of it's like based on the mirror neurons and how, you know, what the kids are seeing, what they're taking on is like normal. Great question, honestly. All right, ladies, what else do we have? Nothing? Okay, so, well, for coming Hunter, I have so many reflections that I've been showing up to me lately, like in all areas of life. What do you think that is about? Well, Hunter, what's the reflection? Or like, what's the situation? It just depends. Like, typically with reflections, which this is, I mean, it's cool, but it's, you know, it's a blessing and a curse. You'll have like what feels like 97 reflections, and all of them have one common root, which is nice. Because when I think about it, I'm like, I'd rather heal the one root and solve like a domino, right? All the reflections I'm having versus feeling like I have to have 97 different things going on. For you, just without knowing anything going on, yeah, you've got two things that are dictating like the domino effect of reflections. Let me know if that makes sense, or if you want to get on specifics.
Okay, hi.
Hi.
So, yeah, there's been a lot of ones, but I would say the biggest, like most specific one, which is so weird, is like I keep applying for jobs, but I'm finding the jobs too late, and I'm like looking daily at these companies, and then I'll see it when it's like already been posted for 2 weeks, and I'm like, how am I missing this when I've been seeing it? And then I'll have like internal candidates or internal employees where they're referring me, like the hiring manager's manager, someone that just recently got promoted, someone on the hiring manager's team, like all three of them promoting me, saying like, hey, you should give this girl an interview, can't even get a response back. And I'm like completely qualified for the job. And this has happened multiple times now.
You're like, okay, I hear it loud and clear.
Yes.
Let me see. Well, this one, if it makes you feel any better, the root is not actually the career. The root of the problem is your family area of life. Not with like Sage necessarily. Yours is more, you know what, this makes a lot of sense because I know that you're in MILFU and you were diving in those traumas. Yours is a lot of like like dad wounds, around value and how you show up in the family area of life. I know we have a session coming up, so let's get further there just because it'll be like a whole situation. But like to start working on things now, start pulling out those beliefs that you know you took on. It could be from both parents. It's just I'm hearing dad is louder. Just like, let me pull one for you. Yours is a validation wound, like kind of what I was telling Katie. Like if someone's not validating you, like good job, Hunter, you did so good today. Like you closed that sale, great job. Your value tanks because you're not like hearing that validation. Finding ways to validate you, like Hunter, you just applied to X amount of jobs, good freaking job. You're helping Sage build his, you're, doing all the trauma healing right now that people like don't do. So you're already ahead of all these people, but just emotionally connecting to that, because a lot of your like growth right now is going to be based on value, which you want to do now before you get pregnant and have babies. Because I'm gonna tell you what, trying to heal that while you have a baby that's a task. It's a task.
That checks out big time. So thank you, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Isabel, any advice on feeling safety within myself? I found a lot of my traumas has something to do with not feeling safe, and I was told a couple months ago that I didn't feel safe in any area of life. Okay, slay, let's see. Start, Isabel, with like feeling safe in your body. Like yes, you can like yes, it'll show up in different ways in each of the areas of life, but start with the body. There's a disconnect. Let me see. Like you only feel safe 20% of the time on your body. So just start connecting with like, okay, let me explain what I'm trying to say here. So like, like with a trauma, your body will know what's going on, but maybe your brain mentally checks out. Like when I was, not to get morbid here, raped years ago, like my body was physically there, but my brain was not there. I had disassociated so much. So anyway, when I tried to heal the trauma, it was a disconnect of like, my mind didn't understand, my body knew the trauma was there, but my brain was over it. Because technically I wasn't there. I was wherever I took myself, right? So it's one of those type situations, like you've been in traumas and you've basically taken your mind somewhere else, but the body knows there's trauma there. So you've linked it as like, I'm not safe in my body. Start connecting with your body of like, just appreciating your body, like thank you for keeping me safe, thank you for this, thank you for that, and trying to really like feel it. Another way to start really focusing on feeling the body and what it's like talking to you about, essentially, start paying attention, like keep a log in your phone, which this would be body reflection, so it's going to help you like start to like feel things in your body again. anything that goes on in your body, like you have a scratch on your head, you hit your finger on the table when you walked by, you got a leg cramp, I don't know, just like whatever minor thing that you're having is going to help you start seeing that your body's always talking to you. It's going to open up like that feeling of safety, so that way you can start connecting to that again. Once you connect to the safety in your body, it'll kind of trickle into other areas and you can open that up in different ways, but start with the body first. Let me know if that makes sense, because I feel like I kind of went on a whirlwind there. That makes so much sense. Oh good, it makes so much sense of memory that popped up the last couple of days. Hey, I'm so glad. Hey Jill.
Hi. Sorry, I was gonna go on camera, but I don't.
Come on, let's see your face. This beautiful Sunday.
I'm not used to being on my phone on Zoom.
Oh, I understand.
How to do it.
Okay, Zoom on your phone is a situation, because why are the buttons always messed up? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm used to it on my computer, but so I can't figure it out.
That's
so
okay.
Sorry.
She's here in spirit.
Yeah, but I don't know, the podcast that you did, I don't know, like a few weeks ago about how you feel like you're doing all the work and nothing's working.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually me who asked that question.
Oh, perfect. Hey.
And I do still feel that way, but I know you said I have to start like clocking all the ways that it is working. But unfortunately, I've gotten to the point where it's like I just feel so like defeated and unmotivated and like depressed almost, where like I don't even care anymore. And I don't know how to shift out of that.
Well, your happiness levels have tanked, so you're at like a 20% right now of happiness in life, which makes sense, just telling me you're feeling like, depression symptoms. This is what I would do personally, like this is intuitive, but like also this is what I personally would do if I was in like a funk like that. Do something that you actually like to do, like fun, like, I don't know, go to the pool, go whatever's fun for you, it doesn't matter, but raise those happiness levels first, because if you're in a funk, it's very hard to like, I'm happy, like let me see the positive in this, right? Like you kind of have to pull yourself out of that funk, like go sit in the sun, like whatever you can do to boost the mood. Once the mood's boosted, you can start to focus on like the minor wins that you've had, and start thinking like, okay, think of yourself a year ago, right? Like what wins have you had from last year to this year? Like focus on the micro ones, right? Once you focus on the micro ones, you can open up the bigger ones. But before you can even like start to see the wins, you've got to get the brain in a better like mindset, or it's like, you're kind of fighting an uphill battle of like the brain fighting you back, where you being like, this is great, and it's like, no, it's not. We're depressed right now, we're unhappy, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yes, I've like
I can laugh about it right now.
Yeah, see, hey, we're happy. Yeah, postpartum's like that too. Like I've told you guys I had a really bad one with Tatum, and then now it's like totally different, but I do catch myself, like I can feel those dips in like the mood almost, and as soon as I feel that, I know, okay, let's go on an outdoor walk, let's go do something. But I didn't know that with her, so I would sit in these funks for like months because I didn't know how to get out of it, and then I would end up doing something fun, and I'd go to the lake or whatever, right? And then I'd be happy, and I'd be like, oh my god, I feel like a new person. So it's like kind of the same thing, right? Like catching when that mood is dipping. Don't beat yourself up about it, right? You're a human. You're living your first life on Earth, right? I don't know if it's actually your first life, but that's what I tell myself. And I'm like, it's just my first time living. My soul's like, bitch, you've been here a long time. But just like taking yourself and doing something that makes you happy, and then you can come in and apply, right? And your brain will take it in more, and it won't fight you, and it won't be so resistant.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. You got this.
I hope so.
I believe in you. All right, ladies. Well, thank you for coming live. I always love the besties that come live. You guys I'll send you an email after, but you're getting $100 off MilFew or $100 off a private session. Use code HOTAF. I'll put it in the chat here, but again, you'll get an email, but here's this. And please, well, I thought I had the checkout links, but apparently I didn't save that, so.
Keisha, when are you doing round 2
Of
MilFew?
Bestie, we're in round 2. You wanna hop in?
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know. It's my first life, okay, too.
I just start first life. Yeah. Okay, text me, because it's a lot of emotional mastery, so it'll help you with like, I mean, life in general, but expect your relationship problems. because that's where it helps me the most with mine.
Love.
Every day when I get triggered, I'm like, okay, emotional mastery skills. It's actually too, so my higher self, she's always plotting and scheming, as everyone's are, but like, so mine, at 36 weeks pregnant, I get an intuitive ping. Like, I had taken emotional mastery stuff like years ago, and like it was helpful, but I didn't fully, like, with me and the way I operate, I have to like I have to learn from someone, and I get like the basis and I get a really good understanding. Then I learn from one more person, or maybe the same person, just on a deeper level of that thing. And then I learn it a third time, and that's when I'm like, oh, everything finally clicks. And then it's like, makes sense. So anyway, 36 weeks pregnant, and I get an intuitive ping to do emotional mastery again. I'm like, well, I'm fucking tired. I don't want to do this. And it's like on replay in my head. So I'm like, fine. So I book a session with Al, and we start going into, you know, emotional mastery, which is great. And then I had the birth that I had, and I was like, that's why she was pushing me, because let me tell you what, when I'm like being willed back to get, you know, cut open, and they ended up hitting my bladder and everything, but yes, I was like not well, but like mentally I was fine at the time. I had to go in and like solve reflections afterwards, but at the time I was like plugging into all of my tools and like, okay, how is this benefiting me? I'm going to be fine. My baby's healthy. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I see why she was plotting and scheming, because it really helped me in that time. But anyway, now I've taken it where that was a very drastic example, and I can apply it to like little things. And I'm like, wow, if this helped me on the medical table, just imagine the things I can do when I'm not in an actual fight or flight.
Amazing.
So anyway, there's that. Okay, slay guys. Well, I'm gonna try to start doing these weekly, not next week though, because I'm traveling, so stay tuned. If you guys have any topics you would like to chat about, DM me and let me know. All
Thank
right,
you.
guys, of course. Bye, have a great Sunday.